Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Election Brief. My name is Kenneth Jesse. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, all social media platforms, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Now, election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. Please stay for details. And this is where we begin, as former chairman of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Professor Frimpong-Boateng has reaffirmed his affiliation with the New Patriotic Party, though he is not pleased with the current administration. During an interview on The Pulse with Elton Brobe, Professor Frimpong-Boateng was asked if he still is a member of the governing New Patriotic Party. This is his response.
The NPP, but not NPP in this present configuration.
Why?
It's different from the NPP I knew.
So you wait for this leadership to leave so that you can reactivate your membership in the party?
Do you have to go there today?
Oh, it's just a question, Prof. It is a question, Prof. A question that people are interested in getting the answer.
No. I subscribe to the ideas of the UP tradition. At the same time, we have to honor Nkrumah, who did so much for us. Without him, I would never have gone to senior school. I would never have been in medical school. So that's how I see politics. You belong to a certain tradition for certain reasons. But that doesn't mean that you have to demonize your opponents. That's how I see it. But the NPP in this present configuration is not very attractive to me.
But the general politics in this country, well, has there been improvements since '92 in terms of dealing with issues rather than insults and all?
No, it hasn't improved. I mean, I give Kufuor, see, sometimes Ghanaians forget there are certain soft issues, power, that are executed, but which we don't notice. And I give Kufuor a lot of credit for the transition from near dictatorship to dictatorship to the rule of law democracy. People have forgotten how difficult it is. It didn't involve putting up a burden or doing something, but how he managed to deal with the PNDC, NDC, and then the transition, Ghanaians understanding that we have to forget certain things and move into democracy. That was difficult, but he executed it. That's why I give him credit. Not because he had built some exalted burdens here and there.
But in the upcoming election, there's NPP, there's NDC, there's also a group calling themselves the Third Force, led by your former colleague in the NPP administration, Alan Kwadwo. Who should win?
Maybe a few more, one or two will come before the elections, and they must think. But as I said, whoever wins will be a transition thing. After another 4 years, Ghanaians will have to sit down and say, do we have to go in this direction, projects, and then when you say we are corrupt, you say, oh, but you were corrupt when you were there. When you say we've done this, oh, but you two did the same thing. We are not here to compete for a competition in corruption and the bad things. We want people who can build this nation, who can give us perspective, who can tell us that in 5 years we'll be here, 10 years we'll be here. And this is what will happen in agriculture. Now, for example, if we want to develop agriculture, it's not planting for food and jobs and that kind of thing. It has to be associated with agri-related industries, like fertilizer, agricultural machinery, and seeds production. So these things go hand in hand. So we have to think so that we have perspective, landmarks, roadmaps, so that we can say with certainty that in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, we have the train in Ghana, trams in our cities, we have this, engineering will be able to produce our water pumps, this and that, agricultural machinery. This is something that we should have been doing long ago, so that we plow with our machines, we harvest, post-harvest things, we do it ourselves, and then the machine to process the food, And here, let me tell you one thing. One thing I've noticed is that some politicians don't understand the difference between development and growth. We think about growth. Food production is high, this is high, that is growth. But that is not development. Growth is increase in size. Development is increase in complexity.
Right.
So if one year you grow millions of tons of yam, that is growth. But it's not development in the yam industry.
Right.
So this is what I'm saying, that we should sit down and think about some of these concepts so we don't get lost in the midst of all these political...
And in 2007, you were one of those who wanted to lead the NPP in the 2008 elections. Is that ambition still...
If I were the president, my friend, we will not be here. This Ghana would have been a different country, I'm telling you.
And I'm saying that, is that ambition still alive in you?
What?
To become president of this country one day?
No. My ambition was to see a Ghana that was good.
Let's bring you more stories this afternoon as Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo is warning any person who tried to stop what he describes as the wind of change in the 2024 elections to desist from such acts. According to him, the current economic situation and general dissatisfaction among the Ghanaian populace is fueling this wind of change.
There's only one thing I will say. Just as the lecturer said last time, I know there will be a change, but who will lead it, I don't know. Definitely, my party in government now will not be.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Hello again. Now, the paramount chief of Nungua, Professor Ni Odaifio Welenchi III, has advised NPP running mate Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh to remain resolute and not be swayed by negative perceptions about him. According to the chief, individuals who are firm and fair in their conduct are often misconstrued as being radical. He therefore cautioned Dr. Prempeh against being distracted by such misconceptions and stay focused on his campaign message. There's more in this report from his campaign tour.
The NPP running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, has been engaging traditional authorities across the country to solicit their support since his selection. Currently touring the Greater Accra region, Dr. Prempeh was praised by the paramount chief of Ada State, Nana Abraham Kabu Ekweku III, for his crucial role in implementing the free SHS policy.
It was a daunting task. He started it so well. When there were problems, he did not back off. There were challenges along the way. We have come a long way today. And we know that the rich and the poor, their children, have equal opportunity to make sure that their God-given talents will be realized.
The chief expressed his full support and well wishes for Dr. Prempeh, who promised to address the deplorable road network in the area if the NPP is elected.
Ketai therefore gives you his full endorsement.
We all must together work hard for the development of Ada. The road should come. Electricity should come. Water should come. Schools must come.
The campaign trail continued in Ningo Prampram and Tema. The chief there expressed concerns about neglect by successive governments, which Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh assured them would be addressed if the NPP is maintained in office. The tour concluded at the palace of Thungwa, where the paramount chief, Professor Ni Odaifio Welenchi III, advised Dr. Opoku Prempeh to remain resolute and disregard negative perceptions held about him.
Many things have been said about you,
I will not repeat them, but anyone who is strict and fair is always seen as a radical person.
She esu kebani no ekachaki jakeke okoye ha bombade san no kwa ojobange.
A strict and fair character is good. I will advise you not to change. The left and right work together. I pray everything goes well for you.
She fair ehiami. The right leg. But the left leg she died and no yoji. Abeku a form felony. She is a rightful person.
Dr. Opoku Prempeh has, however, appealed to chiefs nationwide not to leave decision-making solely to politicians.
I'm not saying we're NPP colors. I'm not saying we're NDC colors. I'm saying whether NPP or NDC, it is your right to tell us what is right. It is your right to tell us what is right. Not our right to tell you you cannot be part of us. It is yours, and claim it.
The campaign tour continues today with Dr. Prempeh heading to the Eastern region to engage traditional authorities. Samuel Mbura, Joy News.
Well, moving on, the managing director of the State Transport Corporation, Nana Kumia, is confident that the flag bearer of the governing New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, will carve his path should he be voted into power in the upcoming general election. According to him, Dr. Bawumia will prioritize transparency and accountability and address other critical national issues to propel the country to greater heights. He said, and I quote, when Professor Mills was campaigning for president, we all said that he was not going to be his own man. But Mr. Blakwa has told us that Professor Mills was a fantastic president. In the same way, Bawumia will be his own man. I have no doubt in my mind that he will look at the national issues and where attention should be placed for the good of the country, unquote. The statement comes after the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, in one of his addresses to the nation, suggested that Ghanaians will be handing over power once again to President Akufo-Addo should they vote for Dr. Bawumia. The NDC's John Mahama said Dr. Bawumia has played an instrumental role in the Akufo-Addo government, which has ultimately plunged the country into an economic crisis. However, speaking on Joy FM Super Morning Show, Mr. Kumia, who is part of Dr. Bawumia's campaign team, dismissed the suggestions. He insisted that Dr. Bawumia will bring the change that the country needs. Well, let's still stay with the NPP because the Volta Regional New Patriotic Party has rubbished claims by the National Democratic Congress that President Akufo-Addo does not deserve to be honored by the University of Health and Allied Sciences. According to the Volta Regional NPP Chairman Makafi Wanya, the Akufo-Addo-led government's contribution to the development of the university outweighs that of the NDC. Hence, President Akufo-Addo merits the proposed honorary doctorate. He was addressing the media in Ho.
Council announced a decision to confer an honorary doctorate on President Akufo-Addo, which did not sit well with the NDC. The NDC Volta Youth Wing and a group calling itself Concerned Volta Youth claimed those who led and played roles in the establishment of the university should be honored and not President Akufo-Addo. Addressing a press conference in Ho, the Volta Regional Chairman of the NPP, Makafi Wanya, rubbished the claims.
Public universities are built and funded by public resources and the taxpayers' money, and does not belong to any ethnic group, let alone a political party. Otherwise, Ashanti-Hini and Ashanti-Ma should lay claim to KNUST, and the Ugwa people should take over the University of Cape Coast and determine their internal policies and operations.
He stressed that President John Mahama who succeeded the late President Atta Mills, neglected the infrastructure development of the university. He said if not for the pragmatic efforts of the current government, the Chinese government would not have released money for the Phase 2 expansion project.
It took the personal interest and commitment of the president and his government to set an escrow account and paid in the counterpart funding as a condition precedent for accessing a $60 million loan facility for the Phase 2 expansion of UAS. The Nanado government's partnership with the Chinese government in Phase 2 of the UAS resulted in a $60 million project that included construction of the Central Administration Complex, the largest school of nursing and midwifery in West Africa, and a fully equipped state-of-the-art simulation center. The project is expected to increase students' capacity by at least 2,500.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
From the Volta region, let's come back to the Greater Accra region because commercial drivers who ply the Dodowa to Afienya route have vowed to resist the government's decision to reintroduce road tolls in 2025. They argue that the poor state of the roads in the area does not justify the tolls. In the 2024 media budget review, the government announced that road tolls would resume in January 2025. However, aggrieved drivers in Dodowa and Afienya insist the government must first make the roads motorable before reintroducing tolls. Carlos Coloni reports.
This is the state of the Dodowa to Afienya road, full of potholes, bumpy and extremely dusty. My journey from Afienya to Dodowa in this taxi took 1 hour and 15 minutes. A journey that would have lasted for less than 20 minutes under ideal road conditions. By the time I arrived, my hair had changed from black to red, and I was sneezing uncontrollably. This was my experience for just a day, but for these drivers who navigate this road daily for a living, it's a constant struggle. The government's decision to reintroduce road tolls have left many of them furious.
Big no to that. The reason being that the sort of roads that we are, using in Ghana, they are nothing to, write home about. But I will say that if they are able to construct our roads and the roads are in good condition, when they ask us to pay those for that, we will do, but not this sort of roads that we are operating on. They should forget about reintroduction of the road tolls. It's not a good thing when we look at our roads. Then when you look at the nature of the roads here, from here to Afienya, whenever it is raining, there are days that we are not able to, move from here to Afienya. All the roads in the Dangbe Shai Osun district, from here to Afienya to Dogwenya, when you go through Astuare Junction to Osue, and almost all the roads, they are so bad. When you look behind you, there is a signpost that has been placed there to deceive the whole public that this road has been awarded on a contract for them to do it. It is still, we don't know whether it is a story. And what happens is that each time elections are at the corner, they bring people on the road just to deceive us. Immediately the elections are over, then we are back to nothing. We will seriously resist that. We will not support it at all because the roads are not good.
We are not in support of that, because looking at the nature of our road, how can you be paying a tax for this road? The road is very bad. The road net is very bad. When we get into rainy season, there's no car going to Afienya, no car coming to Dodowa. Just imagine, ask yourself, if a woman is in labor, how possible can the person get to the hospital? It's too bad. We are even tired of them, not NDC, not NPP, because they all came, they weren't able to do the road. We complained severally. We don't know what they are doing. So we are not in support of that.
Aram, a resident of Fiankonya and a regular user of the road, argues that the e-levy should be scrapped and the government should focus on repairing the roads instead.
They should make sure that the road toll is for the maintenance of the road. They shouldn't use it for any other thing. Look at this road. I work at a dental housing down. I'm staying at Fiankonya. I pick motor. I pay 30 cedis. At time they charge 40 cedis before I'll get to this place. Then from this place, I'll pick 9 cedis to Adenta. Then from Adenta, I'll pick another car before I get to work. So in actual fact, we are just working for transport and food. We save nothing. So if the road toll will help for them to repair our roads and also construct new roads, I'm in support. But they have to take the e-levy because the e-levy came to replace the road tolls.
The debate over reintroducing road tolls versus first making the roads motorable is akin to the classic chicken and egg dilemma. Which should come first? For Joy News, Carlos Caloni, Afienya Dodowa Road.
No rehabilitation of Dodowa Afienya Road. No road tolls.
Well, thank you, Carlos, for that story. Meanwhile, my colleague Sweetie Abochi engaged pedestrians and passengers at the Tema motorway to gather their thoughts and opinions. Listen to what they had to say.
Reactions are pouring in on the back of yesterday's mid-year financial budget review presented by the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam. And key among the things you're focusing on this morning here at the Tema motorway, the first toll booth you see on your way to the motorway, is the reintroduction of road tolls. What do the people, the Ghanaian people, say, or how do they feel about the proposed reintroduction of tolls? Let's find out.
I think since it came out that like we should stop using the toll booth, and then they bringing in the e-levy. I knew that since this thing is still there and then they haven't demolished it, they will still they'll still bring it. So I mean, if they are going to reinstall or recommission the toll booths, I expect that they do away with the e-levy. I mean, the taxes are too much. Looking at how the country is right now, there are no jobs and all that. And then yes, I think the COVID levy was introduced in 2020, right? And then we are still paying for COVID. So, I mean, in a way, I'm also not shocked if they try and then recommission or bring this thing back.
Actually, my honest opinion, I don't mind, because it's either the toll or another tax. They will have to raise money that way. So maybe this is the easiest way of raising taxes. That's why I don't really mind whether they bring it or not.
But for the toll, before, there are people who sell around here. And but for them to bring the toll and not taking the levy, I think for me, I would say, okay, they should bring it, because there are people who sell around here. Plenty people, like, they sell different items. And then when they cancel the toll, those people, or they are just played, some are not having their jobs. I learned because of this thing, some have gone back to their villages. And it is true, because if you are selling here and they've canceled the toll, who are you going to sell to? You can't be selling to the cars that are passing. So I think if they want to bring back the toll and still make but they should try ways and means to take off the e-levy. Because if they are bringing it back, that's what they took it off for. So now why are they not taking it off and bring out the toll?
Because, like, for me, it doesn't make any much sense to me. Something that you knew you are going to bring it back, but you abolish it. I don't know if they are playing with the minds of Ghanaians. I don't know. So I think we, the youth of this country, we need to root up, and then we stand for our rights, and then I think we have to do something. For we, the youth, I think we need to protest against certain things in this country, because if you take a critical look at even the cost of living in this country right now, you don't know how these politicians are playing us. Today they say this, tomorrow that. So I don't know. So I think we need to demonstrate as youth so that we fight for the right of this country. That's what I have to say.
That's all for Election Brief today. My name is Kenneth Jesse. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.